What was your first reaction when you heard the news?
Stu needs to sell the team pronto. How can you take
him?
what he says or signs as gospel?
You can't.
Just saying.
You can't. That's what you signed up for. Cost overruns.
Right.
You would take care of that. And even if you're saying, oh, we felt betrayed because you didn't do the bonds vote when we thought that you were going to do it. If it was that strict that you needed that so that everything else could go forward, put it on the bleeping deal. Just like you put on the deal cost overruns. This is very elementary type stuff. You want something in the contract, you put it in. If it's important to you, you put it in. If it ain't important, you don't put it in.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays. From game analysis to player interviews, we've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulysses Zambrano.
Bringing you expert analysis and passionate discussions about our beloved Rays.
Whether you're a diehard fan who vividly remembers Longo's Game 162 just like us,
or you remember the early Devil Ray days of Wade Boggs and Carl Crawford,
we are here to break down every play, every trade, and every milestone. In fact, this will be our 7th season covering the Rays daily.
And it is spring training time, so go ahead, grab your favorite Rays gear, settle in, and subscribe to our Locked On Rays YouTube channel and other podcast platforms. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays.
This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Guess what? If you use Monarch Money, you might be better suited for financial agreements, financial budgeting than some other people in the Tampa Bay region, you know?
I.e. Stuart Sternberg, who late last week announced that the team will not go through with the $1.3 billion stadium and redevelopment deal in St. Petersburg, upsetting a lot of folks, as we all know. And, we kind of knew the writing was on the wall with this. I honestly kind of expect them to wait until the last minute, but instead of on March 31st to make this announcement, they made it on March 13th. So here we are, back to the drawing board, and a lot of questions are up in the air as to what is going to happen.
A lot of questions, Kev. And what was your first reaction when you heard the news?
Stu needs to sell the team pronto. Because I don't know how any government entity will want to work with this guy.
They're done.
After what's happened. Definitely not St. Pete and Pinellas County. And if you're smart and you work for Hillsborough and Tampa or anywhere else for that matter, how can you take what he says or signs as gospel?
You can't.
Just saying.
You can't. I mean, you can take this man at his word and the board of the race, because I know sometimes he, obviously he gets the spotlight, but there are more people involved in ownership than Stu. But you cannot trust him. You cannot trust him. If you're in the St. Pete side, if you're in the Tampa side, you can't trust him. So I agree with you. I think my first reaction was like, dude, sell the team. Sell the team. Like, it's fine. You bought it for $200 million. It's going to be 1.5, 1.6 billion probably that you're going to be getting.
Right.
You don't have to do this to a whole region of people. Now, did you get a chance to see their communication that they sent out? I
do have it. Would you like me to read it to the audience, or you've got it right there? How about that?
Look at that. You can go ahead.
Okay. Per Stu Sternberg posted on social media, and I'm sure their website and myriad channels, he says, opening day is right around the corner, and we are eager and prepared for what promises to be an exciting and fun season of baseball. Thanks to our dedicated staff and players, our fans will experience the game in one of the most intimate settings in modern baseball history. As we all recover from impacts of the hurricane, we are incredibly grateful for the support from our fans and the wider Tampa Bay community. We are especially appreciative of how our corporate partners have stepped up during the challenging time for our organization. After careful deliberation, we have concluded we cannot move forward with the new ballpark and development project at the moment. A series of events beginning in October that no one could have anticipated led to this difficult decision. Our commitment to the vitality and success of the Rays organization is unwavering. We continue to focus on finding a ballpark solution that serves the best interest of our region, Major League Baseball, and our organization. The city of St. Petersburg is currently advancing plans to restore Tropicana Field for the 2026 season. We are thankful for their efforts and are excited to return to our home field next spring.
Yada, 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 yada. We're not going to do it. Yada, 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 yada.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Well, here's the thing is St. Petersburg, are they moving forward with fixing up the Trop or doing the bare minimum? I guess they have to if the Rays have nowhere else to play in 2026 and beyond.
Right.
Something has to give from that point of view. But beyond that, this is just so stupid what we're dealing with right now.
It's so dumb. And Matt Silverman went on 95.3 and WDAE to talk about this decision. And there were two quotes, that came out. We have 4 years to figure this out, which is insanity because you bought the team in 2006, bro. No, you have multiple decades to work this out, and you haven't. Right. And actually, you figured it out, and then you didn't. You went and betrayed everybody involved. And then the other quote was, the team is not for sale, which I think it's basically just saving face. Like, right. We know that there are people behind it. And you're telling me that if the right price it comes along, Stu's going to say no. I mean, I think that would be insanity. But I don't know how you come out of this except for a sale, because there are two things that are in play here, Kev, and we're going to explain those two things that are in play. But first, I think you're getting kind of hungry there, bro. I think you need a snack.
Yeah, we need to tell people about great snack choice, and that is Wonderful Pistachios. Unfortunately, I do not have my bag of pistachios on me. I already ate them. I already ate the entire supply that I had as I was traveling out of town. It's great if you're in the vehicle and trying to get some protein. That is what you can do with Wonderful Pistachios. Why? Because Wonderful Pistachios, it is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. Don't waste any more time. Get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more.
The two things that are in play here.
Mm-hmm.
First, the league. The league came out with a comment and they said, Commissioner Manfred understands the disappointment of the St. Petersburg community. He will continue to work with elected officials, community leaders, race officials to secure the club's future in the Tampa Bay region. So good on the league for coming out and saying, nope, we believe that the Tampa Bay region not only deserves, but can definitely be a host for an MLB team. That's great. DeSantis, it came out and said the same thing during the weekend. And the second thing at play is Mayor Welch. And these quotes were just fire. And I quote, I have no interest in working with this ownership group. That bridge has been burned. I really thought we had it. We had everything in writing. We had the agreements. It was mutually beneficial. but this reflects what past mayors have conveyed to me, and that's unfortunate. Oh, just such a sweet punch to the jaw to Stu and the ownership. Like it, bravo, Mayor Welch.
Yes. And how can you blame them after what the Rays have put everybody through at this point and not being honest or forthright from the very beginning? I'm still not convinced that their estimated cost overruns are accurate. I think it was just posturing to get out of this deal that they had second thoughts about following the hurricane, or who knows, maybe even before the hurricane, they were trying to wiggle their way out of this somehow, some way. And if you're St. Petersburg and Pinellas County, you should not want to have any more conversations with Stu Sternberg or Rays brass. Like, I wouldn't want to talk to Brian Auld or Matt Silverman after this. Hey, we'll just go ahead and redevelop the gas plant district by ourselves, with or without a stadium. If a new ownership group comes about, then yes, we can work with them and try to make amends. But at this point, you guys are on your own. If you want to try to coerce or hoodwink Tampa and Hillsborough County into doing something, go for it. But again, even I think some of the folks on that side of the bay are very questionable about Stu Sternberg and dealing with him. I know Ken Hagan has made some statements, although Jane Castor, on the other hand, seems that she's, ready to step up to the plate, so to speak. So I guess it's just crazy what is going on right now. And I think the only solution at this point is a new ownership group to keep this team in Tampa Bay long term. And MLB ultimately, I think, will have to step in and force Stu's hand if Stu, quote unquote, doesn't want to sell.
Two things. Jane Castor did come out and say on Twitter the other day, or X, disappointed the Rays aren't following through with stadium plans in St. Pete. The goal has always been to keep the team in Tampa Bay. The city, Tampa Sports Authority, and county are happy to talk with the team again, but any proposal has to make sense for our taxpayers and community. So that's the first thing. Yes, Jane Castor did come out and say something. The second thing with Matt Silverman, if you listen to that interview, which I did
not get a chance, by the way, but okay, I will have to at some point.
Yeah, if you're a Rays fan, please go ahead and take a listen. But if you just even watch the clips that are going around on X, it's funny. There's a part where he goes, really, it's not because of the money that we are saying no to this deal. This deal is we were being led by our hearts and not our brains. And now we got to lead with our brains. All that crap, right?
Yeah.
He starts with saying it wasn't about the money. And then for the next 2.5 minutes, he talks about money.
Yes.
He talks about money.
Well, that's always what they've been talking about now is the money factor of, hey, cost overruns, even though we agreed to them, looks a little steep for us because the county waited 49 days to approve the bonds. And now our prices have gone up by another $150 million.
We're not going to show you how that's actual factual, though. We're not going to show you that, how it's actually gone $150 million more than we had. Kevin, this has to be a sale. There is no other path forward here,
right,
but selling the team. And maybe that's part of why they didn't wait until March 31st and they come out on March 13th, so that they have a little bit more leeway maybe with the sale. But I just don't see how they keep going with this, because then after that, a little thing came out of them proposing, instead of the $600 million, $400 million for a 10-year lease at the Trop to stay at the Trop till 2038.
Yeah.
No.
You don't like that idea?
No, thank you. No.
You're not a fan of that?
Oh my gosh. 10 more years of the Trop? Get out of here. Get out of here. And I mean, get out of this region. Get the hell out. Sell the team. I'm telling you, there's no way that he keeps ownership of this team. There's no way. He has to sell.
Yeah. I've got a couple points on that, but first, Ulysses, I think we need to tell the audience something else very important.
Yes, we do. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? How can I not afford a stadium? My gosh, what happened here? Maybe it's online shopping, maybe it's entertainment, maybe it's dining out. Easy to lose track, even if it's millions, people. And that's where Monarch Money comes in. It's your personal CFO. Sometimes people that are really rich don't even have one of those, but Monarch Money can do it for you. It gives you full visibility and control over your finances. It isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, spending in one place. So you just stop managing your money and you can start building wealth. And today, you can take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year.
All right. Couple things that I want to address. I don't know why Matt Silverman says we have 4 years to figure this out. By the end of 4 years, that means the lease at the Trop is over and done with. Like, you have, in my opinion, maybe a year to figure things out if you're planning to build elsewhere, whether it's in the city of Tampa or Nashville or Montreal. Like, you need to get your butt in gear. You don't have,
Yes and no.
Okay. Yeah, I want to hear your clarification on that.
Yes, because I agree with everything you said. No, because I think legally speaking, and again, drop it down in the comments for all you lawyers that listen to Locked On Racing. You hit that like button right now, and you hit that subscribe button. We need it. Use that like button as if it's you know what to stew. Just hit that bleeping button, okay? I think legally speaking, you can keep adding years to the lease at the Trop.
Okay.
I think the city has to say yes.
But will the city say yes after this debacle has gone forward? I mean, at the end of the day, even if they totally dislike and don't trust Stu Sternberg, there is a strong argument that having the Rays in St. Petersburg is good for tourism and economic development. That's why Pinellas County commissioners were like, hey, in the meantime, while the Trop is being repaired, are you going to play in Dunedin or Clearwater? Or, oh, no, you're leaving. And we're kind of upset about that.
Exactly. So I think legally speaking, that's what they could do. But again, the lawyers in the Locked On Rays community, please drop it down in the comments. But it's another one of those quotes from Silverman, who has had just a bevy of comments since the last 5 months. I mean, the guy is on a Carl Crawford against the Red Sox streak, just stealing bases. This man is just hitting them out of the park with his comments, bro. I mean, Matt's on a roll right now.
His PR person should just be like, okay, no more interviews. We're good.
My God,
prepared statements on X. That's what we're having going forward.
Jeez, Matt, like, slow down, bro.
Yes. And here, I've seen a couple things. Maybe it's been in some of our YouTube comments where, the money that St. Pete and Pinellas County put forth isn't enough. Like, that's not a good enough deal. I don't know how that can be presented because, again, it is not just $600 million. It's more like $740 million when you include infrastructure improvements to the area, plus the acres and acres of land being sold at a heavy discount. Like, this is a sweetheart deal, and that is why MLB and the other owners are like, what are you doing, Stu and Rays? Are you out of your minds here?
By the way, just to put numbers on it, hours after the Rays announcement on Thursday, by the way, I'm quoting Colleen Wright, friend of the pod, developer Thompson Whitney Blake stepped forward with an offer to buy the entire 86-acre site for $260 million in cash, with plans for a convention center. $260 million for the 86 acres. By the way, under the deal that is still in place until March 31st, the Rays and Hines would buy 65 acres for $105 million.
Yeah,
Sweetheart deal, bro. No, I can't listen to people that say that this is on the county and city. I'm sorry, I can't, because literally they signed that contract that said they would do with the cost overruns, which means the 49-day delay. It doesn't matter because that's what you signed up for. Cost overruns,
Right.
you would take care of that. And even if you're saying, oh, we felt betrayed because you didn't do the bonds vote when we thought that you were going to do it, if it was that strict that you needed that so that everything else could go forward, put it on the bleeping deal. Just like you put on the deal cost overruns. This is very elementary type stuff. You want something in the contract, you put it in. If it's important to you, you put it in. If it ain't important, you don't put it in.
Right. Exactly. The other thing too that I wonder is, well, I know that everybody with the Rays and their statements are, we're not for sale. Comparatively, if they said we were for sale, I think they'd be getting some lowball offers. But by saying that we're not for sale, hey, it's going to take something very special for us to agree to this and say yes. But maybe by not signing this agreement, or not going forward with the agreement, I should say, maybe the Rays are opening the door for an ownership group to come in and say, hey, everything is open on the table. If you want it in St. Petersburg, they hate us. They don't hate you. You could go back and work something out. If you want to have the team in Tampa, that's still an opportunity. If you want to have it somewhere else, the world is your oyster as far as that goes. Maybe that is something that is part of the backdoor mechanics for this. And the other thing too is, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, the fact that the Rays playing in Tampa this year, I think, is going to get everybody on that side gung-ho and excited for the prospect of having the team long-term. And I think the Rays want to explore that a little bit more and see what they can get out of that opportunity, so to speak. So
I think on the second point of yours, yes, I think this is like a great soft opening for them. Like, hey, this is a horrible situation, but now let's see what we got. Kind of thing. But for the first point, if you're selling and you're not pigeonholed to one deal, and you can say, hey, you can do St. Pete, you can do Tampa, you can do whatever you want. It kind of acts the opposite of when you have a guy signing to a long-term friendly deal contract with the team, right? In baseball, it works. Hey, Blake Snell, you sign him for 5 years, $50 million. Ooh. Every team is going to want to have a piece of that if he's on the trade block. Oh, Sandy Alcantara, he signed to a sweetheart deal for the next 4 years. Yeah, give him to me, Sandy. But maybe for an ownership of a franchise of MLB, you might want to keep your options open, and you might want to explore Tampa. So I see what you're saying. I don't see this, even though I get your point of maybe they want to see what happens with Tampa and if they can work that out. I don't see how any politician in their right bleeping mind would listen to anything that Stu is saying and with thinking that it's going to happen. It's going to go through. He, like Welch said, burned bridges, bro.
Yeah. And the only thing that the Rays can hope for is that he's out of office in the next couple of years. And I don't know the status of re-election and all that. If anything, I think Ken Welch looks better of saying, hey, we're not going to work with them anymore after what they pulled. And it's not like Ken Welch is the only enemy of the Rays. I think just about everybody else on that side of the Bay is an enemy of him right now, and deservedly so. We did put it out on social media, gathering some comments. Joshua Garner says, if they can't get Stu to sell, going to be the Orlando Rays soon. What a debacle. I will say this. Out of all the cities, I think Orlando is like the least likely to get a team. I just don't see that as
I don't see Orlando at all.
The possibility. Our buddy Ryan Hill says the situation keeps getting more and more embarrassing. True that.
Yep.
And then 702 living, but always with the 813. Another stadium podcast coming up. Yep, you are right. That's what we have here. Unfortunately, we love to talk about what's on the field, but unfortunately, these off the field matters are coming to a head. I guess if there's a little bit of a silver lining in all this, you have it done before the season starts, so it's not so much of a distraction for the players and the front office folks. At least they can, maybe focus on spring training these last couple of weeks and get into the regular season. I think that if this bomb dropped like 4 games into the season, I don't know if it'd be a distraction from what's on the field, maybe in the perspective of the fan base.
I think the level of hysteria would increase if it is closer to opening day. I agree with you there. But with this being such a big deal, I would not be surprised at all to see some signage, to see some shirts, some sell the team shirts being worn by Rays fans. And last but not least, I would not be surprised if the fandom got together and said, hey, maybe after the 5th inning of every game, we chant, sell the team, sell the team. I would not be surprised at all if those things were to happen.
2030, where are the Rays playing? Tampa, St. Petersburg, elsewhere? I've got to ask it.
God, I'm going to go and say Tampa Bay. How about that? Not specific at all.
Good enough.
Yeah.
All right. On that, put it in the comments what you think about all this and the situation. In the meantime, we hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you later.